What's up, bro? SRP? Yeah, I remember you, bro. What's up, what's up, what's up? I gotta tweet the link out. Give me a second. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? What you been up to, SRP? Been a minute. Alright. What we got for this week? Let's hop over to the charts. Alright, so I'm gonna start with the economic calendar. You guys know the drill. Turn this stuff down. Music shouldn't be too loud now. Alright, economic calendar. What we got for this week? I think we had FOMC this week. Yeah, we do. FOMC meeting minutes on Wednesday. We got an FOMC week. Big 3 news driver. All right. So we have an FOMC week. Very first thing that we do. Every single forecast is get a feel for the economic calendar, because this economic calendar tells us when the volatility is going to get pushed into price action. It's going to, you know, almost hint at what the weekly candle is going to deliver like. It's not a guarantee, but it gives you that first hint of narrative for the week. And it kind of just lets you know what days are likely to be higher probability and what days are likely to be lower probability. So Monday is Memorial Day. It's a bank holiday for USD and pound. There's gonna be no volatility, no news driver. Obviously will not be at the charts on Monday. It's also my girlfriend's birthday, so I'll be spending the day with her, chilling with her. I don't expect any of you to be at the charts on Monday on a bank holiday. If you do, you're just setting yourself up to lose, right? If the banks are not involved with price, there's gonna be no volatility. That's a low probability day. Any bank holiday is a day I'm just not trading. I don't trade bank holidays. That's a non-negotiable for me. Tuesday we have Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar red folder. No USD red folder on Tuesday. So for people that trade crosses or swing, you know, Forex or intraday Forex, Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar on Tuesday could have some volatility, but still nothing Monday or Tuesday for USD, which means it might be slow until Wednesday for US dollar and anything correlated to US dollar. Right, so I'm always operating under the idea of figuring out USD. Like everything that I'm trading is correlated to US dollar, so I'm always essentially prioritizing the USD when I'm looking at the economic calendar. So for me personally, like the only reason I even include the other currencies, Euro, Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, etc., is because I know a lot of you guys trade Forex and other pairs and currencies. For me, if it was just me, I would just have it sorted by USD, and that's all I would care about. So I usually lean towards figuring that out. And so for those that trade USD correlated assets, Monday and Tuesday could be slow because we don't have any volatility being injected into price action. We have no news drivers Monday or Tuesday. And USD and Friday, you don't want to be trading them, right? You don't want to be trading on a bank holiday. That's just a very simple rule of thumb. Hopefully my stream's not dropping frames right now. I feel like it is. Shoot. Oh. Are we better or are we still dropping frames? It looks like it's dropping frames. That's annoying. Bro, why is this happening, dog? Come on, man. What's good with my Wi-Fi? My internet is not doing it today. It's fine. I feel like it's dropping frames, but alright. We'll run it. Hopefully it holds up. Alright, so I think we're green now. I talked about the economic calendar for the week, right? My game plan for USD correlated assets is Wednesday and forward, right? So Monday, Tuesday, I'm expecting to be lower probability. I'm anticipating lower probability, consolidation, style, price action. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm expecting more volatility. Those are the days I'm going to be putting the majority of my focus. What's up? What's up? I'm doing well. You see it without the chat. There's probably a way to put the chat up. I'm not sure. What's up, brother? Do I use an iPad? No, I don't use an iPad. I use a PC. I use a PC. It's just my I have a router extender because I'm upstairs. Alright. We have an idea for this week based on USD, right? Wednesday through Friday has more of my focus because those are the days where there should be more volatility injection in price. So if we break down bonds, so we talked about how bearish bonds looked, right? The last 2 weeks, we mentioned this sell side as our draw on liquidity and what we can see beautiful price delivery towards that sell side. This wick has now taken that major liquidity objective, right? This order pairing objective. That was our draw, right? For those that were in the streams the last couple of weeks, you know, we were extremely bearish on bonds. And I told you that this was some of the cleaner price action I've seen. I even said, you know, frame it if you want to, because this is very, very clean delivery on bonds. So get familiar with clean price action and understand what it looks like, because when you can identify and, you know, when you make a habit of identifying high probability price action, you know to position yourself within it. So you need to know what it looks like so that you can get yourself trading it, right? You need to be able to identify low probability conditions so you can sit out. And you need to be able to identify your high probability conditions so you can position yourself within it. That is extremely, extremely important. So we talked about that monthly stop hunt, the weekly internal to external playing out, and this sell side as our draw. Beautiful, beautiful delivery. Like bonds is textbook. I love the way that this has been delivering. So I would recommend studying this. Go into the charts. Use the things that I teach, use the things that I talk about, and really try to figure out why I'm saying this is high probability price action. But we can see the delivery towards the sell side. was really, really nice here. Now we've swept this major order pairing objective. This is where I want to take a step back. A fair value gap like this, right after sweeping that major monthly sell side, is lower probability, right? Because we can now potentially retrace deeper. So I always say these fair value gaps that occur prior to a major liquidity objective being swept are just lower probability in general. So we'll see if this wants to retrace deeper or head lower from here, but we do have that daily internal there. And we'll just be gauging the reaction of price from that level. Right now, we're respecting it, which looks pretty nice. So if you look at the daily right now, it's wicking and respecting that. We'll see if we end up falling through lower towards this next external on the daily with more bearish bonds. So we'll have to just see how that plays out. But right now, it's looking, that respect looks nice. USD. USD. All right, so monthly breakaway gap. Monthly has been selling off, right? We have bearish dollar, bearish dollar. Aggressive sell-off. 5 days and 8 hours until this third candle closes. This looks like it's creating a gap. Obviously, I don't see us closing and preventing this gap within 5 days. That'd be a crazy bullish reaction. We're going to anticipate this monthly gap gets created, as well as this breakaway gap. We're going to use the weekly and daily to get a feel for what price wants to do. So I've mentioned the last few weeks on dollar that this has been very sloppy delivery, in my opinion. If you look at this internal range liquidity, this is some of the ugliest respective in internal range liquidity I've seen. We failed to deliver lower on this first candle right here. We failed to sweep that second candle high and deliver lower on the second candle. The third candle wicks up, still disrespects it. You know, the midpoint of this gap, it still disrespects it. And then it's like, all right, yeah, we'll sell off now. So some of the ugliest respective internal I've seen, not the best price action on US dollar in my opinion, but we are now respecting that internal range liquidity and delivering lower. So I'm going to be looking for external as a draw, right? We can see that price is clearly respecting it. Although it wasn't, you know, very pretty in here. We have a large bearish candle to the downside now. So we can, you know, just presume that this is going to reach for this sell side liquidity here, this external range on the weekly. So sell side is my draw, bearish dollar. Based on what I'm seeing from that weekly range, you can see this was pretty nice right here, this daily internal being respected, and some nice delivery lower. So now we have sell side of the curve on this daily sell model, and this is starting to look a bit better, you know, more clear, right? So do you see how this feels much more clear in terms of what it's reaching for and how it's delivering than in here? At the time, that's how price looked, and we were just kind of chopping higher, not respecting the internal yet, just kind of waiting for that reaction. Then finally we get our reaction out. It wasn't pretty, but we got it, and now we're getting fall through to the downside. So we're looking for sell side of the curve to continue here and reach for this order pairing objective down here. Looking for the weekly external, basically, right here. That is my draw on bearish dollar still, based on what I am seeing. We're on the second candle. This will be our third candle on Monday, the bank holiday, and this should be a consolidation. We'll have a new daily gap that forms, and then Tuesday can potentially sting into that, and we can sustain lower prices. So this will likely be a basing or a range candle because it's a, you know, bank holiday. Boom. Monthly. Same logic here where we might just reach for this sell side. This third candle's creating a gap. We're going to anticipate that gets created, right? Wait, I'm still looking at dollar. What the? All right. Yes. I'm lost. Okay. So ES monthly, bullish order flow within that internal range liquidity. We are having a pretty interesting, we're beginning to respect that internal. We still have 5 days on this monthly candle. So for me, I'm gauging how the daily trades. I'm gauging what price does here, because on ES there isn't a gap, but if you look at NASDAQ, there is a gap right here. I would consider this a nice little gap, an overlapping area of fair value. And so ES may want to trade into this like imbalance here. This is a volume imbalance that we may want to trade into and kind of just offer fair value in here to deliver higher. Mainly basing that off of NASDAQ's internal range. So that'll be very interesting if we trade into this level and respect it, or if we trade into this level and just begin to disrespect it lower, then potentially this gets respected. You know, as of right now, it's unclear to me, and I'm gauging the daily order flow. Do we trade into this? So here's the synopsis here. Right, this is what I'm trying to figure out. This is my thesis, and then price needs to validate or invalidate it. Does price trade into this weekly internal, flip and respect it and trade higher? Then we're looking for longs towards external on the weekly. Or does price reach into this weekly internal, start disrespecting it, and moving lower to respect the monthly internal? Well, the only way I know that is by getting more price action and more information from the daily. So we need to see how price delivers here from that weekly internal, and we need to see what the daily does. So I'll throw it on the wait list. In terms of the higher time frame, we have an area we can head higher from, and then have a nice weekly internal to external. I could see that play, because if you look at NAS on the monthly, we're still disrespecting that internal. So we can see a nice sting into this weekly internal on NAS, and then we have a nice bullish boundary. This is a high probability trading condition, right? This for me, from the gap towards that external liquidity, is my high probability trading environment that I was just talking about. So from here to here, this is my trading environment I want to position myself in. And so we can see higher indices. I would favor that. But if we trade into these levels here and begin to disrespect them and just print lower prices, then I have to readjust. So I'll favor longs, throw it on the wait list and see, but I'm looking for a sting into this weekly gap and then higher prices, to make it very clear. Gun to my head, I'm looking for higher prices on indices, and I'm expecting this internal to hold and print higher. If that's the case, then ES and NAS are going to continue to disrespect the monthly internal. Boom. Boom. Look at gold. I got you. Give me a sec. Monthly internal on YM. Respecting. I mean, that's a clear respect. That's interesting. Looks a lot different than ES and NQ, where this trades into the monthly internal as a clear rejection to the downside. Looks a lot more bearish compared to ES and NAS. Weekly trading above, we have that imbalance. We already offered fair value in this imbalance here. And daily's flipping order flow. So YM looks a lot more bearish to me. A lot more bearish, which is interesting. YM is looking quite bearish here. We'll see if we want to sustain higher prices from this imbalance. But YM's already tagged it. So to me, YM's already offered fair value in the weekly, and we can just trade higher. But that monthly internal respect is very interesting. So interesting spot for indices, as well as Russell. That looks very bearish. The way that we're respecting these internal ranges. Let me make it very clear what I mean, right? Compared to NASDAQ, my cat's right next to the mic. Compared to NASDAQ, this monthly candle respect of internal looks much more bearish than this, right? Hold on. As of right now, where this price action is on NASDAQ, we're trading above that monthly internal. So this looks much more bullish. It's a disrespect of this internal, versus this looks much more bearish. This is a respective internal. So Russell and YM both look more bearish. ES looks quite bearish here too. And then NAS is above. So we really need to just, like I said, gauge if this weekly internal holds or not. That's what it's going to come down to for me. So kind of 50-50 to me there. And I need to see what price action says and get more information in those areas. We're bearish dollar. Nice internal to external move on euro could play out here. I'm bullish euro just based on that context alone. This is a nice high probability trade environment for me. And I'm going to be looking for longs on euro. This looks nice. Sustained lower dollar. I like this a lot. I'll be looking for longs on euro just based off that. There's not really any information to pull from the daily, the weekly, gap, monthly already delivered on pound. We can continue to reach for higher buy side up here. Next buy side objective isn't until all the way up there though. And then we have this new area of fair value right here that should get created. Not much to pull from the daily as well. Just longs, euro and pound. Long biased, for sure, for sure. Weekly breakaway gap. Did we SMT there? I'm just curious if we SMT'd this low. 512 to 421. 512. We did. This is that signature that I love to see. This is that signature right there. This is the signature that creates harmony. This is what I'm looking for. This is the major box check I need to see. I want to have a clear bias, and then I want to see this signature in price where we tag an internal or we stop hunt a low or a high, right? So when I say a stop hunt, I'm saying we have a bearish trend. We hunt the highs and continue lower. So with harmony, I'm only trading stop hunts. I'm only trading basically liquidity sweeps aligned with the order flow. So if we have bearish order flow, I'm looking for highs to be stop hunted. If we have bullish order flow, I'm looking for lows to be stop hunted. So this would be my stop hunt there. So with harmony, I'm looking for either an internal tag with SMT or I'm looking for a stop hunt with SMT on one of the correlated assets. So we can see AU had that bullish SMT from the internal, and we're delivering higher. That's the signature you're looking for. Very nice. Monthly, no, that's not the monthly. Daily 4-hour gap right here. I don't see anything to offer for value on the daily or weekly. Let me check again though. Second candle expansion right now. Third candle forming will likely create a daily gap up here, right? So this will likely create a daily bullish for value gap, and we can deliver off that later in the week. What I'd be looking for. Longs as well. Majors are starting to look better because dollar looks clear to the downside. So when dollar has that clear draw and dollar has that clear period of expansion, you want to focus on majors. So majors are looking better this week. This looks a lot better to me. Disgusting respect to the internal, but it's playing. Daily gaps likely going to get created here. Same logic. Could potentially long towards these highs. On NU, I favor AU with that bullish SMT. If you look at AUD NZD, you can get a feel for what's stronger just looking at the cross. Right now, just kind of consolidating. Daily bullish order flow. Consolidation here. Based on AUD, USD, AUD looks stronger to me. So now anything USD XXX is going to trade in alignment with dollar. So if dollar's bearish, these should be bearish as well. Weekly internal to external played. That was pretty nice actually. Wow. USD CAD with a nice little move there. Area of fair value overlapping now. If we can get a nice gap here, this could be a nice short environment. Something like that with the gap overlapping with the area of fair value here. Things are looking nice on majors. Things are looking nice on majors with bearish dollar. Beautiful respect to the area for value. Look at that. You guys can go back and watch the forecast and see that these levels are just marked out weeks and weeks before. Beautiful respect to the area for value. Bearish dollar. Looking at these lows. Should see lower price action. Daily internal play. This is nice delivery as well. Yeah, majors look nice, dude. Majors look really good. Majors look a lot better this week than they had prior. Sell side draw. Weekly internal is probably playing. Yep. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Really nice. This is nice. I like this a lot. This is great price action. And why is there great price action right now in majors? Because dollar is expanding. This is a really important distinction to make, guys. You need to understand that when dollar is expanding and dollar is showing clear signatures in price action and it's showing willingness to move, then majors are going to show the same. So when dollar is printing and it's very obvious where dollar is going, you're going to have clarity on majors and you're going to have a higher probability trading environment. Yeah, things look nice. Things look nice. I like all of these for shorts. Euro pound. Somebody asked me to include these. Stung the weekly internal, then delivered lower. Really nice. Daily internal playing as well. Really ugly though. I would more so consider this a stop hunt, right? The reason this is a stop hunt to me is because we've already mitigated, or not necessarily mitigated, but traded into this gap. And so this swing high just gets hunted and we move lower. Kind of just consolidation here. I don't love this price action on euro pound. We are starting to reach lower and I favor lower prices on euro pound. Monthly sweep, that low, weekly traded into the internal and is respecting it. Gold, gold, gold. I'm almost there. I'm literally 2 tickers away. I got you. Hold on. Daily gap, respecting but not ideal. Yeah, I don't love the crosses. They don't look that nice to me. Crude oil. Crude oil. Monthly sell side. But straight chop on the monthly. Swept the previous candle high. Oh, that's the weekly. Swept the previous week high. Consolidation, consolidation. Still could hold these lows and go. Let's see if there's SMT with RB there. It didn't sweep the lows either. Interesting. Crude oil looks like ass. What's new? You guys know I'm a crude oil hater. Check the Nifty 50. I can look at it real quick for you. All right, gold. SRP is saying check gold. Monthly bullish order flow. Weekly respecting the internal. Small internal, but it is being respected. We talked about expecting higher prices from here. Nice high probability trade environment from this internal to these highs. Looks good. Daily gap respected. We talked about this as well. I've been taking a lot of trades on gold lately because this is higher probability right now. This asset is showing willingness to expand. So the majority of my trades this month have been on gold. And that's intraday, not just like not higher time frame. Yeah, gold has been printing. 4 hour. Not much to pull here. Just looking for these buy side objectives this week, right? These highs. Bullish bias on gold. Gold looks nice, and that will definitely be a focus for me as well. But this week looks promising, honestly. This week looks promising. Silver looks like cheeks. A lot of consolidation. Low probability. We are expecting this internal here. And I'm bullish gold, so I'll be bullish silver as well. But I much prefer to go long gold. Bitcoin has also been printing. I think it traded towards all-time highs. This internal to external move ended up delivering here. Effectively delivered to external here and swept those highs. Now I'm looking for this weekly gap to get tagged. We have this weekly gap down here that we can offer fair value at, and then we'll see what price wants to do from there. But I would expect this to reach for the internal on the weekly after sweeping that all-time high. Ethereum has the weekly gap. Not near all-time highs right now. Ethereum actually is trading into the monthly internal and respecting it. That's interesting as well. And the daily is just consolidation right now. So it looks more bearish on crypto to me. After sweeping all-time highs, I want to see this retracing off for fair value. Looks a bit more bearish to me. That's why all-time highs are, and these major liquidity objectives are always a good place to target or take partials, whatever it may be, take some off. Nifty. What's the future? Just Nifty? I mean, the liquidity already doesn't look that good in the future. Is there a better... The future looks lower. S&P at CNX. Okay. So Nifty is S&P CNX Nifty Index Futures. Okay. This is for India. South side sweep. We have bro, the third one, gift. What's gift Nifty? Wait, let me see again. This one. Our monthly bullish order flow. Sell side sweep. Right now, it looks like we're hunting these lows and trading higher from that. I'm viewing this as a stop hunt. Why am I viewing this as a stop hunt? Because we have bullish order flow, right? This has been printing bullish order flow, higher prices. This up here is all-time highs. I'm not interested in this bearish gap. We've already traded into it and respected it. I'm really just going to be pulling from the weekly from here. I just view this as a stop hunt. I'm pulling from the weekly. What do we have in the weekly? Well, this was pretty nice delivery in here from the area of fair value to print higher. We have the weekly. I believe Nifty's like the India's index. Who is Nifty? I've literally never looked at Nifty, but right, it's India's index. Weekly area fair value printed higher. OB being respected right now. Looks quite bullish to me, bro. It looks bullish to me. We are disrespecting this daily gap, but I could see us still wanting to deliver higher from. This is a bit of consolidation. It's not the cleanest right now. We're respecting that OB. Our next buy side targets would be up here and here. It looks pretty more bullish to me. This was a really nice move in here with this internal and the area for value respecting. And then we delivered towards the external. I could see us still printing higher here, just not the cleanest delivery in here. 4-hour bullish order flow as well. You want to see this continue to print higher prices here and bullish for value gaps. You have all these highs up here. This is a nice signature to be attacked. I could see this reaching higher for these highs. It looks quite bullish to me. I mean, it's not the most beautiful, but I'd favor longs. Based on what I'm seeing, we hunted the sell side. The weekly is respecting the OB. Already retraced down here. You want to see new expansion to the upside. If we can see this reach for external, then that will become your new area for value, and you want to see price reach for these new. This is low resistance liquidity because price is creating failure swings, failure swings, failure swings. You want to see this potentially get ran. Yes, and NQ is very interesting where it's at. Right, let me go to the normal S&P and NAS. Because Russell and Dow look so much more bearish. Even ES is starting to respect this internal. The only one that's disrespecting it right now is NASDAQ. So we'll have to really just see what happens from this weekly gap. This weekly level here is going to be very telling. If we just slice through this and begin invalidating this weekly area here, I'm going to be favoring a respect of this internal, and maybe we target that fake bottom. Maybe that's a fake bottom. We target the sell side. But the weekly is going to be very telling. So I'm 50-50 here on indices, honestly, because Russell and Dow look really bearish. Look at YM and RTY. These look much more bearish to me than NASDAQ. So I'm getting kind of mixed signals from the indices. Yeah, I like gold a lot this week. I like euro and pound this week. Indices, I need a little bit more information before I can start trading them, but they could be interesting. Depends on what happens. But this week looks really nice. This week looks a lot better than last week. Last week was dog. I literally waited all week. I waited all week for a trade, and I had a winning trade on Friday, and it was just brutal. I really had to be patient last week. So yeah, we'll see what happens on indices. But I'm probably gonna call it here. Nice little forecast for you guys. Just knock it out. Looks pretty good this week. Looks like a high probability trading week. Like I said, my game plan is waiting for Wednesday, FOMC, to see some volatility. But we'll see if Monday and Tuesday. Well, Monday's a bank holiday, so I literally don't care. I'm not looking at price action on Monday, but Tuesday potentially I'll look at, putting on trades if we move. But I'm not expecting us to, because there's no red folder until Wednesday. So I won't look at Monday. No, it's a bank holiday. It's Memorial Day. Tuesday, I will look at price action and see if I can find a trade. But if it's not expanding and we look low probability, I'm just not going to trade on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we have FOMC at 2 p.m. Thursday, Friday are more of the days of focus for me. But I will trade Tuesday, Wednesday if there's clear setups and price is willing to move. So that's how I'm approaching it with my Harmony model. Mainly focusing on just these tickers right here, right? So S&P, NASDAQ, gold, silver, and euro and pound. I only trade gold. I don't trade silver, but I look at silver for correlation. So euro and pound longs, gold longs, and then indices on the wait list for me. Need more information from that weekly internal to see if we want to invalidate that and go lower, or if we want to respect it and go higher, because it's a very interesting spot for me on indices here. Just waiting for more information, but that's pretty much it. If you guys want to join the academy and live trade with me for free for 7 days, you can see at the bottom left of the screen, just go to tradingpatiently.com. You can start a free trial. Become an academy member. You'll have access to me literally 24/7. I'm always answering questions, sending videos, live trading. I really think the live trading is the most value, because you're seeing my thought process and getting answers getting your questions answered in live time. So check that out if you haven't already. With that being said, though, hop in the Discord and say what up. Let me know if you have any questions or anything. I'll be in there, and let's have a good week. Stay patient. Wait for the model. Wait for the good setups, and be a disciplined trader. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.